Just remember, Aquarius, you need to see things for what they are, not what you want them to be. And this is most certainly what is actually going to happen and what is actually going to take place this November 2021. You are going to see things for what they are, not what you want them to be. This is in itself going to be an important moment of the actual spiritual enlightenment that you are going to have, that you're going to go through, but at the same time there is going to be a very, very strong connection and very strong kind of sense of the new direction which is going to be provided within the next 7 days after that moment in time. And that in itself is going to create such an important restoring point for you. And I really, really like it, because I know that that vibration in itself is going to make you pick up, you know, it's going to make you like, it's going to bring you motivation, it's going to bring you inspiration, but it's also at the same time going to make and going to create a really strong connection with your past. You will not be able to explain this, you know, where this is actually coming from, but this is all deeply connected, you know, to your spiritual journey, and it's deeply connected to your own karma. So most certainly you have been working on something quite heavy, you have been working something on quite significant. So the things that you've been going through over the last 36 months that most certainly didn't make sense, you know, it's actually even stretching, you know, within the last 48 months, you know, the things started maybe to become a little bit complicated within the last 48 months, but the last 36 months were rather significant when it comes to this particular situation. This in itself means that a very annoying problem is going to come to an end, but it's also going to bring you like a really important realization, because it's going to happen in such a way where you're not going to be able to understand and realize why were you acting in a certain way, why you were doing maybe the certain things over the last 24 months. So that's why I'm saying that a lot was building up to this particular moment. A lot was building up to this particular moment in time that you're actually going to have. In itself, it's the moment of the personal liberation that you're going to have, but then on another hand, this is going to show you your own strength. You're very unique, you're very powerful, you're very strong, and when you know that things are not right, you simply move on. And I said this many times, you know, you have got this really specific power about yourself, my gorgeous Aquarius, and the power that you have, it's your own consistency, you know, with things that you want to do. But then at the same time, it's not only about the actual consistency, but it's also about moving on. You know, moving on, when you know that it's time to move on, you have got the power above lots of other signs in the zodiac to actually make this, to actually create this, to actually make this happen much quicker than lots of other signs would. And this is what I'm talking about. And in particular, when it comes to the actual 20th and the 21st of November 2021, you will see that, you know, you are probably going to have one of the biggest confirmations of your life. At least this is how it's gonna feel. But most certainly this is going to make you to actually focus on this particular adjustment, readjustment. This is probably the most important thing now that I'm going to say, that is boiling down to the particular readjustment that you are going to become aware of. My name is Sasha Bonasin, and I'm a psychic medium, and this is your monthly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's for you, my gorgeous Aquamarini, and it's for November 2021. So this monthly horoscope tarot card focus is for you, my gorgeous Aquarius, and it's for November 2021. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited for you, because, you know, you have found yourself in a little bit of fog, you know. And this is nothing unusual, you know, because this life is not meant to be simple. This life is not meant to be easy. I said this many times. But now this fog is about to start clearing off. And it's almost impossible to try to explain the way you're actually going to feel. Your number this month is number 13, 1-3. It's all about your personal transformation. It's all about your personal power coming up, but at the same time, the realization transformation. What is sticking out in your life so much? What is so annoying in your life? What is kind of draining your energy? And because of that fog that I say that you've been going through, which is nothing unusual, please don't say, oh, I'm being a dark Lala. No, baby, no. This is an important moment in time because of that particular fog. It caused emotional confusion. And once you find yourself on an emotionally confused path, it is very difficult to find yourself. So this is going to be like a beautiful and spiritual moment that you're going to have. And it's most certainly, it's just out of the blue. It's this realization that it's going to be pinpointed to you. What you're going to realize is literally going to change your life. And you know it's not going to be easy to make this particular adjustment. So this is pretty much so to do with you going through your own transformation, but also at the same time making this powerful adjustment, and this readjustment that I'm talking about is just going to be connected to your beginning steps. I'm not saying, oh yeah, everything is going to change. No, baby, no. But these are the beginning stages. These are the beginning steps. You're absolutely about to enter the whole new dimension. In fact, it already started to happen at the beginning of October 2021. You felt it a little bit in September, pretty much so. But now when it comes to November, this is like a big mama moment that you're actually going to have. And when I say big mama moment, it's just to do with your spiritual development. It's to do with your personal development, but also reaching that important moment in time when you're able to gather your strength in such a way, when you see things for exactly what they are. And it's specifically going to make you wonder. It's specifically what you're going to find out about a certain maybe person, that is going to be involved with this as well. There is a particular person that is going to be involved with this also, that you're going to find out something about them, and perhaps you're not going to like it, but then at the same time, your little voice at the back of your mind, in your subconscious mind, was guiding you, was trying to let you know, was trying to warn you. And funny enough, you were aware of it, but as I said, you were aware of it subconsciously. You knew that something is wrong. You knew that something was not right. And this is all about this realization and confirmation and doing the right thing and making your life better, bettering your life by doing the right thing, and also on another hand, when it comes to the actual number 13, and this particular transformation, I just like it so much. I know it sounds like a little bit difficult and maybe a little bit complicated, but actually it's going to be brilliant. This month is going to be really good from the beginning of the month. So don't get worried about this emotional confusion that I'm talking about, that I'm referring to, because it's just going to seem so much lighter when it comes to the actual month of November. And most certainly from the very first day, things are going to be so much more clear to you. And suddenly you're going to find yourself right in the first week of November, where you're going to feel this like really wonderful and important burst of energy. And that energy is going to sharpen you up so much. And this is why you're going to feel your feet very firmly on the ground. The life has been like all around the place for you. The life has been really, really busy. So now this is going to slowly kind of like start kind of slowing down. And it's going to give you an opportunity to catch up with things. So the very first week of November, you're in for a very interesting surprise. But then for the very first 7 days of November, you're in for a very interesting surprise. But it is about the way you feel. It is about a very strong sense of direction that you want to find yourself on, that you want to do, that you want to try. And the very interesting thing at the same time, indeed, is going to be somebody who is very close to you, very important to you, somebody who you really look up to you, somebody who means to you so much, like somebody who but you appreciate this person in your life so much. This is a good person. This is a very safe person to you indeed. And this. They will somehow confirm something to you. And by the time this first week of September happens, you're just going to be like, oh my God, it all makes sense now, So you kind of like you are prepared on what is actually actually going to take place, what is going to happen. But on another hand, you were like absolutely waiting for this moment, because as I said, this is all about your own personal liberation, my gorgeous aquamarinis. This is important. And you know what? You were actually quite affected quite a lot when it comes to the actual lack of direction. The lack of direction you felt because there was like so much going on, and you were like kind of, you found yourself in a mode where you were like maybe like a little bit of a robot. Please don't get me wrong, we all do that. It happens to all of us when we find ourselves on a certain path, and we have to go along with things, you know, we have to plod along, you know, until we get to the point that we want to get. And there are other things that you were affected by that caused you having a lack of direction, because you weren't feeling like you're actually not expressing yourself. You were feeling like you're not able to express yourself the way you want to express yourself, the way we should to express yourself. And that maybe was not even evident, how evident it's actually going to be in the month of November from the very beginning indeed. So it's the lack of direction. You know, maybe you are not even realizing how much this actually affected you. The November is going to bring the missing part of you. There is the part of you that is missing. I know this sounds like, oh my God, but this is so important. This particular part of you that was missing, it's also going to motivate you. It's going to re-energize you, and it is going to be a bit of a nostalgic moment that you're going to have with your past. When you have a nostalgic moment at around the mid-November 2021, you just need to pay attention to what exactly are you thinking about your past. When exactly did this happen? Who exactly are you referring to? Who exactly is on your mind? What situation are you keep on going back to? Because there is a particular situation that you will keep on going back to, and this is what you need to pay attention to, because that particular situation is also going to reveal something to you. Very important, powerful, super spiritual key. The key that was missing, the key that is going to unlock so many doors. And you know, by the time you get to the end of the month, you know, not that you're gonna blame yourself or anything like that, but you're just gonna feel so firm and so strong about making this particular adjustment in your life, and you're gonna like it. And it's connected to the little bit of fear or negativity, and maybe the step into an unknown situation and area, but now you're gonna find this rather challenging. So a lot is gonna be revealed by the end of November that is just gonna make sense to you, like so much. So it's about a lack of direction that is just basically about you. The more you do things that come to you throughout November, the more successful you're going to be. The more you're spontaneous throughout November, the more you're gonna get out of it. The more you're being you. I mean, it's always like that. We have to be ourselves, because we are the most beautiful when we are ourselves. No matter how weird we are, no matter how weird we sound, no matter how weird we act, but this is when our energy is the most powerful, and you are gonna have a very strong reminder about that within the first 11 days of November. In particular, the 10th and the 11th of November are going to bring you a big answer, and this is going to be connected to the part of your life that you think that you weren't able to relate to, but this is also going to be connected to a new important inspirational moment at the same time. So it's about the actual you just expressing yourself, you doing as much as you can, and also it's an absolutely fantastic month on one hand to kind of try to relax and pay attention to the balance, but on another hand it's also like a brilliant month when it comes to like going on the next step, you know, when it comes to your professional life, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your finances. You know, this is a powerful magic number of 11, November. So we must not forget that this is a lot to do with our spirituality, our spiritual journey. It's to do with our spiritual awakening. So you will become aware of the part of your life that no longer serve you, and maybe just a couple of months ago you would be like, oh no, it's absolutely fine, but now it's gonna be very strong like kind of energy of sharpness that you're going to find yourself at, and something is going to be driving you, but also at the same time the power of synchronicities is going to be enormous. You know, there is also like kind of very big question that is going to be answered to you when it comes to the actual somebody very specific in your life. You know, there is a very kind of like a question connected yet again to somebody very specific in your life, somebody who's like maybe like a mysterious in a certain way, somebody who doesn't kind of like act like everybody else, somebody who's like a little bit different, somebody who's a little bit bizarre. Everything is bizarre about this person, so it's just like a basically maybe to wanting to know the certain part of them, it's kind of locked in, you know. So there is something very specific that you're going to find out, and this is also gonna kind of like cause you to start your own personal unfoldment, and it's gonna be connected to the whole new perspective later on. But you just need to remember, one step at a time. First of all, you're gonna find something out, but this is gonna be brilliant because it's gonna like set you free in so many different ways. But on another hand, you need to understand not to kind of like rush with anything, and just remember to kind of like do and go like one step at a time. Anyway, just going back on the number 13 and how this month of November is going to be. So it's like basically brilliant when it comes to like testing the water, when it comes to talking, when it comes to expressing yourself. The more free you are, as I said, the more you're expressing yourself, the better results you're going to have. Okay, so if you're painting and you're like a really this great artist, and then you just like you wanted to do something for a long time, try something different. Now you throw yourself into it and try something different. You know, if you're a builder and you're making houses, you know, and things like that, then you wanted to make like a certain house, but this is like always crazy, or always is weird, something weird about it. Just go for it and do it. You know, it's the time of being a free spirit. The most free you are, the better your energy is going to be, the clearer you're going to see. It's not only about your own personal success, but it's about your emotions. You know, you will see by the end of this month what is really holding you down, but the whole month it's actually going to be most certainly playing an important role. There is a lot that is going to happen. There is a lot that is going to take stage, you know, that is going to take place this month. But most certainly, you know, it's a really nice good news that you are going to have also, you know, when it comes to like certain delays, and this kind of like it kind of affected your inspiration, you know, it kind of brought you down a little bit, you know, when it comes to the certain delays. And these delays, you know, it's to do with your personal progress. You know, you are happy, you're doing this, you have achieved this, you have achieved that, but you're not just finding that essence because you know that if something is missing, you know. But at the same time, that missing part is very, very relevant, because that missing part is connected to the certain delays, and these delays happened in your life because you couldn't kind of understand the situation, or maybe you didn't want to understand the situation for what it is. So this is going to be quite serious, but really brilliant, because at the same time you are going to have like a really huge massive moment of liberation, as I said before, and you are just about to set yourself free, really. You know, I know it sounds like, oh my god, but this is actually really, really brilliant, because, you know, there is going to be very, very good news that you actually have. And the good news that you are going to have this November, very important news when it comes to the actual gain, you know, when it comes to something that you were waiting for financially, and something that you were waiting for when it comes to the next step that was affected. You know, it's to do with your expectations, it's to do with your desires, but then again at the same time there is something else that you are going to realize here, because you will exceed your expectations, and that in itself, it's almost immediately going to create a moment, pam pam pam, of the actual your own personal promotion. This month is going to bring your own personal promotion, going on the next step, going on the next level. It doesn't matter whether you're looking for work, whether you're working, or whether you're retired. It doesn't matter what you are doing in your life. This month is going to bring you an important moment of your own promotion, because karmically now it's time. Karmically now you're ready. You have exceeded your expectations, and you will know this is personally going to be like a really important to you. But even more importantly, which abilities you're actually going to recognize. It's about the ideas and the abilities that you're going. First of all, you're going to recognize the certain abilities. Oh, I should do this, I should do that. You should not listen to anybody else. You have to listen to yourself. because through the actual power of synchronicity, signs and things like that, you are going to be aware of things that you weren't aware of before. So your eyes are going to be open, but most certainly it's about the recognition of abilities and ideas. This is very important, that at the same time the motivation from someone very important and interesting in your life is going to take place, and you are going to like it because it's going to bring you even more progress, you know, when you need it the most, you know. On another hand, you know, the justice, you're gonna be part of something so important, my gorgeous Aquamarini, this month, you know. You are going to be part of something really important when it comes to some kind of justice, when it comes to you putting your foot down, when it comes to you saying something, when it comes to you doing something, okay, when it comes to you making a certain move. And you need to remember that this particular justice, you just have to be impartial and objective. Please, you need to remember this, because you're going to need to put a little bit of your input in this, okay? So it's the situation that you're going to need to step in, you're going to need to kind of act on, but at the same time, you must not like kind of take things personal or anything like that. What you need to remember here, and it's the right way to do this, what you need to remember, oh little kitties all the way here, what you need to remember, my gorgeous Aquamarini, is just basically that you need to be, there she is. Look, you just need to remember that be impartial and objective, okay? But then at the same time, you need to stand up, you know, for what you believe. So this is what you need to do. On another hand, you know, this is also going to be the month of the actual release. You know, you will see these endings that I was talking about are most certainly going to bring you new possibilities, new beginnings almost immediately, because this is all about your own spiritual transformation that is actually going to bring you a really nice change after the time of frustration, okay? So your little kind of frustration that you've had over the last maybe 12 months, you know, it's going to be the confirmation that you were right, you know, because something just didn't click in, something didn't just work out, something just didn't make sense. So this is important, because yet again, this is to do with your own spiritual involvement. But on another hand, you know, also when it comes to the actual the period in between the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th of November, just remember this. This is the time when you really need to listen to your intuition and pay attention to signs from the divine. This is very, very important. Do not worry, because the worry that you are going to have at around this time, it's going to be unnecessary whatsoever. So your energy is going to be very strong, so you just don't want to block, and you just don't want to lock the door around you. You're going to feel naturally deep, very spiritual, but then at the same time, you just do not want to kind of like slow down your process. Just remember to let go of your fears, but then at the same time, you know, by the time you get to the end of the month, you're also going to have a very important revelations that are going to make quite a lot clear to you as well. What you couldn't understand before, most certainly now you will be able to understand. When it comes to your health, my gorgeous Aquamarinis, you know, it's rather important to mention, like, yet again, I know I've said this so many times, but it's like organic acerola cherry powder or capsules, or organic camu camu powder or capsules. Both of these supplements are ridiculously powerful when it comes to its vitamin C content, and it's natural. So this is something that I would really highly suggest you to use. And on another hand, every single day, and alongside with natural vitamin D3, and also with natural zinc as well. And another thing that I was going to recommend you is to drink as much as water as you possibly can. Try to cut down on any addictions that you may have, because yet again, this is a powerful month of the personal transformation, which is also going to affect your health in the best possible way and give you the power that you wouldn't normally kind of have. It will give you the power of healing, you know, to go along with things as long as you do things right. And on another hand, also try to kind of like get like a natural antibiotic. It's like as much as you possibly can. I would probably recommend you to get something like take garlic every day. I know garlic has got a quite strong smell and all these things, blah blah blah, but then again, it's a very powerful when it comes to being a natural antibiotic, and with you and with your energy, this is going to be superb, because it's also going to start promoting healing within your body. So you can get like a natural garlic every day if the smell doesn't bother you. You know, I know it bothers some people, but then also on another hand, you can get like a natural supplement which contain garlic as well if you don't want to take the actual garlic. And this combination is going to be superb when it comes to boosting your immune system, and this is something that I would highly recommend you to take every day. And when it comes to the vitamin D, I mentioned before, it doesn't matter if you're in the sun every day. I would still highly recommend you to put a vitamin D supplement inside your body. If you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor. You just need to check with your GP. Only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. So now, jumping on the very first date of the actual November, and before I go there, I would highly recommend you for November to protect yourself, to get something like this gorgeous little pendant, black obsidian. You can buy this on my website, and the link is in the description below. And this gorgeous obsidian comes with sterling silver setting and a gorgeous sterling silver chain, and this is something that is going to work so perfectly with your own energy when it comes to November and December. It's going to protect you, it's going to make you feel much better, it's going to make you feel re-energized, it's going to give you the strong sense of direction where it would be like quite difficult to kind of recognize it because it's quite a lot happening. But on another hand, it's going to protect you, it's going to help you with your own grounding, but it's also going to be brilliant when it comes to your own inspiration and taking things on the next level, taking things on the next step. This is absolutely brilliant. Okay, as I said, the link is in the description below, and by buying things from my channel, my gorgeous Aquamarini, you're also supporting my channel as well. So now, going on the first date of November is the first, a second, and the third days of November. This is going to also bring you like such an important realization. Your eyes are going to be open. You might have a very strange and bizarre dream that you're never going to be able to explain, but this is all coming from you kind of readjusting yourself spiritually. So you're like kind of start traveling when it comes to like your dreaming, sleeping, astral projections. You know, there's going to be a lot of that throughout the actual November 2021. But the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd of November, you need to see exactly, this is about your devotion. This is about your devotion. Your own devotion is going to reveal something to you. Something is going to happen, news, information, message, and then you're just going to feel a very strong connection to the certain part of your life. And this particular connection, this means so much because it's also the sign, an important sign, that you have to put a bit more like kind of energy towards the certain goal, you know, towards the certain services. You will know exactly what this is, and it's very important because it's about something very, very specific indeed. The fact that you are going to have the combination of material and spiritual prosperity, it's only going to enhance you and your way of thinking even more, and it's going to be rather optimistic and positive when it comes to your personal inspiration. But on another hand, this is to do with your practical knowledge, it's to do with things that you like doing, is to do with things that you want to do, but it's also to do with like some kind of negotiation that it's going to become a rather obvious, and that negotiation, it's also going to be the beginning of realization that there is some kind of negotiation going to need to take place, and somehow that negotiation is pretty much so connected to the certain like maybe trouble, negativity, and restraint caused by others. So this is important because it's going to be the time of your personal departure journey, but it's pretty much so to do with an advancement into the unknown. You know, it's to do with an alteration that is going to become obvious on the 14th of November 2021, which alteration when it comes to this specific time, it's going to become obvious on the 14th of November 2021. So it's pretty much so important to understand here, to release situations of or people that no longer serve you, but at the same time focus on a career, on the finances and things like that. The next important date, my gorgeous Aquamarini. And before I go there, again, I would highly recommend you, because it's a lot to do with the career, it's a lot to do with the next step, it's a lot to do with the inspiration, it's a lot to do with this powerful vibration of creating, doing, making, throwing yourself into all sorts of situations, you know, being so spiritually open-minded at the same time. That kind of like bring you so much of realization and the power to deal with things that have been emotionally confusing you, you know, by giving you the power to understand things for what they are. But on another hand, is drain your precious little energy at the same time. I would highly suggest you to wear something like a tiger's eye pendant throughout November and December. Every single time when you're trying to create something, every single time when you're like talking to important people, every single time when you're trying to do something, when you're trying to achieve something, when you're working on something, when you're confused, when you don't know what to do, when you need a little bit of like kind of power, something that to helps you with your own expression around like a strange and negative, maybe bizarre people, you know. Tiger's eye, it's going to inspire you, it's going to be positive when it comes to protecting yourself against evil eye, but at the same time it's remarkable when it comes to career, business, and also making the right decision. This gorgeous tiger's eye pendant comes with a sterling silver setting and a sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, my gorgeous Aquamarini, you're also supporting my channel as well. The second important date is going to be on the 11th and the 12th of November. Now, you know, this is like, my lord, you just simply, you have to be honest with yourself. You must be honest with yourself here, because, you know, this is pretty much so like the time of your own kind of self-illumination, but then at the same time the certain door are gonna open, and once this door open, you just gonna be in the state of denial, and you must be honest with yourself, my lord. You need to pay attention to what this is. You will feel like kind of like you will feel like going over something against yourself type of thing if you go further, you know, something like that. I hope this is not confusing, but most certainly it's something that you are in self-denial. You have to be cautious about if you don't do anything about. So most certainly I think that this is going to create a really interesting starting point, and you are gonna realize something ingenuine, and that ingenuinity that you are going to realize is going to be pretty much so almost immediately connected to your personal growth. So it's almost immediately going to be connected to you making the right decision. And also on another hand, you know, 11th and 12th of November are going to bring you like a very kind of nice progress, important progress from a hard work. And on another hand, you know, it's also going to kind of require a little bit of reorganization. You're going to become aware of like results that are very important and that are nearly due, but at the same time reorganization about and around where you wanted to spend your money, where you wanted to invest and things like that. It's a pretty much so to do with that. It's to do with cash, finances, money, and where you decided to spend, you kind of gonna maybe like where you decided to invest, probably you will kind of want to change this, you know. And this in itself is going to be confirmed through somebody very significant in your life, some kind of powerful figure, somebody very wise, somebody very important, somebody very successful, somebody who has got a really powerful stability about themselves, somebody who's like has got a power of convicting people. Is that even does this even make sense? It's someone who's got like a very strong energy around them, somebody who's doing things, and that person always does the right things. It's like somebody who's like a very much so like a maybe an older and very, very wise and very interesting and very important person, you know, in so many different ways in so many other people's lives. So this particular person is going to be playing an important role when it comes to having some kind of confirmation, and you will know this is important because it's connected to your own unfoldment. On another hand, when it comes to the 11th and the 12th of November, it's just about the actual, this is pretty much so to do with your own new fresh start. And it's pretty much so to do with the end of delays, you know. This in itself is just going to surprise you in a way because of the sudden progress, but then at the same time this is all to do with a very, very positive change in your life. You should treat yourself here and also pay attention to kind of like things like meditation, relaxing yourself and just rewarding yourself at the same time, because the balance is going to be superb. The balance is going to be absolutely perfect, you know. And also when it comes to the stage and the period in between the 11th and the 17th of November. Pay attention to the actual, you will feel the need, like you want to learn about some kind of new subject, or a career, so this is important, to pay attention. At the same time, to it's important to pay attention to details, because something is going to be revealed to you in between the lines, something very important indeed. And how long is this going to take? It's going to be an additional 7 months until something really big and important and substantial happens. The third important date, my gorgeous Aquamarini, it's going to be on the 25th of November 2021, and this is all about your own kind of like a personal transformation. You will feel like you want to change things. You will feel like you want to kind of like change things around, change things about. Certain things are going to start getting on your nerves, but this is pretty much so your own spirituality telling and talking to you, because you're going to become aware of the certain move that you will want to make, that you will want to do, something really big you will want to do, really big you will want to make, and this is going to come through you while you're kind of changing things around you, maybe tidying, maybe bringing new objects in your home, maybe bringing new plants, maybe changing the pictures or whatever. That particular energy is very powerful because it makes you highly vibrant. This is also going to make you realize the actual very big change that you are going to become aware of. On another hand, the 25th of November, it's just about a very, very beautiful spiritual, from the 25th of November until the end of that month, actually, from the 25th of November until the end of that month of November, you are going to have a very beautiful and emotional experience. And I like this so much because this is going to reflect on your own, on awakening of your psychic abilities, which is going to reflect on a very powerful insight. And that powerful insight is just going to be also at the same time, it's just going to be connected to something new, something new, but it's pretty much so maybe like some kind of relocation, something quite big, This is going to be the beginning of something very important here indeed. On another hand, what else you need to pay attention to, for especially on the end of the month, in between the 25th and the end of the month, to kind of not to work too hard don't do too many things, because it's just going to drain your energy like there is no tomorrow. Try to kind of chill out and take a little break at the end of November, try to kind of bring a little bit of fun into your life. This is very important when it comes to your personal balance, but also at the same time, little problem that you're going to need to pay attention to. It's actually the answer to this problem is like, don't overanalyze the situation and simply move on. On another hand, the most important thing when it comes to the last few days of November is just a basically big answer that you are going to have, very big and important answer, and this is pretty much so kind of like going to bring you determination and willpower, but later on it's going to be connected to quite interesting public recognition as well. Okay, so now my gorgeous Aquamarinis, I'm just going to say briefly what to pay attention to in the first part of November, mid-November, and the last part of November. So the first part of November, it's the pretty much so to do with the actual as an exciting opportunity. The first part of November, so I'm just trying to gather so much information, but the first part of November is just about the actual and exciting opportunities to do with the career, it's to do with the finances and things like that. The mid part of November is just basically there are certain ideas that you are going to have, but I wouldn't rush with them. You need to kind of like really discuss with the like-minded people. Very important indeed. And the last part of the actual November is just about the actual you just need to remember to be yourself. You just need to remember the last part of November, that what comes to you like a naturally to literally do, but at the same time, there is somebody kind of very special in your life that is going to need your help. The last part of November is connected to somebody very special in your life that is going to need a little bit of your help and guidance, because somebody's just being like a little bit misguided, and it yet again needs a little bit of your help, because you know the answer, and you need to see who this little devilish person around somebody very precious in your life is. Somebody may be saying things that don't make sense, and you just want to kind of step in and just like kind of highlight this particular problem indeed. Okay, so now my gorgeous Aquamarini, I'm just going to see what is going to happen to those of you in relationship. Now, this is a very interesting thing for month for those of you in relationship, because you know, very important news that you're both gonna find rather beneficial. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, very important news you're actually going to have at the not at the beginning of November, but in November you're gonna have an important news that you're both gonna find super beneficial, and it's pretty much going to almost immediately kind of gonna make you active, determined, but at the same time it's about the idea. You need to take this idea on the next level. Okay, very, very important indeed. When it comes to those of you who are single and ready to mingy, my gorgeous Aquamarinis, you know, this is like a pretty much so not the month when you're going to find the love of your life, but there is also going to be like a really important lesson that you are going to have. I see that you're going to like kind of like maybe see someone, feel a very strong connection to someone, but not that long after that you will probably see that, you know, things didn't happen in between you and that other person because they're not meant to happen. Okay, but there is a very important, so there is going to be someone who's like going to be like, hello my darling, you know, like kind of like a catch your eye. It's going to catch your vibration, and you're going to find something so irresistible about this person. Stranger in the night, Aquamarini in the morning. No, I'm joking. You're going to find something really irresistible about this person, like, oh my God. And you know, that in itself is just gonna kind of confuse you. This is not going to be the right person for you, but it's absolutely superb and so relevant and so important when it comes to your personal development, because there is such a strong and powerful lesson for you over there that you're going to learn, and that is going to mean to you so much personally, because it's going to awaken something. That particular person is going to inspire you, but not just like hello my darling, but it's going to inspire you in such a way where it's going to remind you of your inner happiness, of your inner child, and it's very important to be reminded of these things, you know. So there is something, it's very complex to explain, but something that was missing in your life is going to be absolutely evident to this particular person. So it's not about, oh yeah baby, let's just kissy, you know, let's just stranger in the night, let's have a stranger in the night moment. It's not about that. It's about you realizing, you fancying someone, liking someone, whether you're going to have like a bit of like a one night stand moment, you know, or whether you're going to have a bit of a kissy moment, or whether you're just going to like kind of see someone and fancy that person. It is not kind of going to go really far, you know. I'm just saying that it's more important here is the lesson that you're going to get out of it, no matter what happened, or if anything even happened. Maybe you just saw someone, but it's about the inspiration. Something is going to change within you, something is going to happen to you, but it's also going to remind you very deeply of who you are. It's going to start process of an important change and inspiration in your life that is later on going to become a magnificent part of your life. So this is all about an important learning process that you are going to have, that is pretty much needed when it comes to your own determination, when someone else very important walks into your life. Okay, my gorgeous Aquamarinis, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous Aquamarinis. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye. Mwah.